Hey you, welcome back to Pushing the Limits. Today we're going to be expanding upon the ideas of how to decompress your full back for instant pain relief because a lot of people found a lot of good in this video. So I am going to dig down and find what makes this video so good. If you understand it, you can expand it. So we're going to expand upon the ideas, but let's solve this mystery. Why is this video
I'm going to show you how to decompress
so
your
good?
full back for instant pain relief.
I love
Stay
that.
tuned.
He's the best. Dr. Rote, I've watched this video so many times to try to figure it out. He's so
Hey,
concise.
Dr. Rowe from Spine Care in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this
I
video,
think I
I'm
have a
going to
couple
share with you
ideas,
my
but
personal favorite spinal decompression exercises
they're
that are going
good.
to target pretty much everything from the base of the neck all the way down to the
He's
tailbone.
right.
They're safe, effective, and can be done at home. And the other great part is they're not going to require any special pieces of equipment.
Even
You
better.
may find that this gives you quick, instant pain relief in the back in as little as 30 seconds. So let's get started with
Okay,
it.
so I want to figure out what is it that is giving people this pain relief so quickly. Is there something? Because I'm trying not to be skeptical. He's got, let's see. There were so many good comments on this thing.
Right now. All of these decompression, traction, stretches, and exercises are going to focus on the full spine or the full back. But I know that people are going to have a little bit more going on in one certain area of the back, so let's put an emphasis on those spots. Let's work from the upper back and then go into the middle back to the lower back.
Okay, so we've got a plan. We're going to start with the neck, we're going to do the middle, and then we're going to do the lower back. So I'm going to try to come up with an expanded version of each one of these things. That's 3 areas, but he does a couple of variations. But here, he's about to explain the most important, like, philosophical principle that he uses with all of these exercises.
This one is going to be for more of the neck and the upper back.
Right.
I'm going to be using an elevated flat surface for this. You can use the edge of a bed, a chair, or a desk.
First clue.
I'm also going to be using a towel for this, just a hand-drying towel. If you don't
Second
have one,
clue.
I'll show you how to do it without a towel. I'm going to start off on the knees, so put a pillow or a towel.
Position is very important to Dr. Rowe.
Let me show you how to do this decompression stretch without a towel. If you feel the back of your head right here, you're going to find at the base.
Okay, so this is the first important thing. He's going to talk about points of leverage, contact points. As a chiropractor, of which I have been since 2010, this is what you learn in school, these contact points, these points of leverage. This is very key. Pay attention.
The skull, 2 large bumps. That is our contact.
Mastoid processes.
I'm going to take this part of the palm,
And even the contact point of the hand, right?
and cup those spots.
Contact
and put my hands
points.
around my ears.
Like,
Watch
think
how I
about
do this.
teeter-totter on a
I cup
lever.
around my ear and then put that palm right over those 2 spots. I'm going to bend the elbows like this, and then I'm going to go into kind of like a yoga pose, known as the child's pose. I'm putting the back of my arm.
Okay, so basically what he does is he's creating leverage at the base of your skull. There's those 2 bumps, they're called the mastoid processes, and then above that is your occiput. So you want to try to create a fulcrum at those points. So if these points are sticking down, you want to put your hand underneath them like that. So you're trying to literally like lift your skull straight up. Now, he has you resting your elbows on something and then sinking your bottom back. But you could do it a bit more actively. This is expanding, this is pushing the limits. You're going to get a good position. This is everything. Once you get a good hand position back here on the meaty fat part of your thumbs, push up, and then what you're going to try to do is keep your head lifting up. Keep your elbows up, keep your elbows parallel, and then move up and down, up and down. And you'll feel that keeping the head still will begin to loosen up and decompress the full back like we're talking about here, but it was just a little bit more active.
So this next way to decompress our full back is going to put a little bit more emphasis into the middle back, especially in between the shoulder blades. Let's do this one at
Moving down the spine.
So the first part, what I'm going to do is roll up a large bath towel and place it over the...
Okay, again, with the fulcrum, we're just changing the position. Instead of the fulcrum being the top of your head, you're now moving the fulcrum to somewhere in your mid-back. To expand upon it, take a foam roller and do the very same thing. Now, you can start easily here at a comfortable place and then slowly allow yourself to go back. So you're almost going to do like a sit-up here. You're going to slowly go back and slowly go forward. You may feel a little pop. It'll be easier to start higher up. Hey, Louie. It'll be easier to start higher up, but then you'll need to move the... Thanks, bye. Then it'll become harder if you move it lower. It'll be harder to lean back. As soon as you feel like you've stopped and you've lost your breath, pause and go up and down there. You don't want to go further back and start to shake, but this can be a great way to expand upon this. Okay, so this time the fulcrum is in the low back and you are trying to move backwards. He has his legs flat, so one way to expand upon this idea is if you were to put your knees bent up at the couch here and then go into that pose. You just need to remember that you're trying to hinge at a very specific joint back here as you go up. Try to keep your hips down and breathe. Always control the breath.
Next decompression exercise, we're going to go to the edge of a bed. Place it where your hips are.
Okay, so for this one, the fulcrum is in the hips. You can see that he's kind of locked off the hips and then he's going to expand upon the back. So this one is just like an elevated child's pose. What you're going to do to change the child's pose is where you start back here like this. But you can also move your hips forward, but still allow your upper body to kind of bridge down. If you go further forward, further down. If you go further back, you'll feel a different stretch. So people usually start here, then they'll work forward and try to relax their arms down, then work even further forward and let their back fully decompress.
A decompression exercise that you can do at the edge of a bed or couch. I'm going to support my upper body weight on the couch or the bed and also put a...
Okay, so this is his fulcrum point for this final one is keeping pressure in the upper body. So instead of like a child's pose on the knees, we're going to put a little bit more emphasis on the upper body, okay? And so one way to do that and decompress is to bend and extend your knees. If you want to change it, you can move your hands further forward, bend and extend. It'll be a little bit easier here and obviously a little bit harder here, but you can get basically the same advantages in just a more active way. Thank you for watching Pushing the Limits. Next time, we will push the limits of another viral video for your benefit. Thanks for watching The Anatomy of Therapy. I actually still think his stretches were better than mine, but